Thanks, Glenn. The Northampton City Council is considering a move to study past injustices on black citizens in the city.
They're taking up a resolution tonight that could lead to reparations. Western Mass News reporter Paris Dunford joining us live ahead of tonight's vote. Paris?
Chris, Mary, community leaders in Northampton joined together in hopes of getting this resolution passed. Now, Western Mass News spoke with City Councilor Garrick Perry. He is one of the 3 city councilors behind this move. He says tonight the full council will vote on whether or not to form a commission to review a history of slavery in the city as well as discriminatory practices. The goal is to study subjects such as housing disparities for black citizens or obstacles for black businesses in Northampton.
We're in need of community, of coming together, and it's really, I think, important now for us to start tackling these issues of why Northampton doesn't have the same population of African Americans as some of our neighboring cities. You know, why we've only had 3 black city councilors.
Perry says he obviously plans to vote yes on this legislation tonight. That meeting is set to take place virtually at 7. You can stick with Western Mass News later on tonight for the results of that vote and more on what this committee would do. Reporting live in Northampton, Paris Dunford for Western Mass News.